Today on Artifactually Speaking, floor knobs and glazed bricks. I'm Dr. Brad Hafford, archaeologist at the University of Pennsylvania, and I'm here in the southwest corner of the Ninurta courtyard at Nimrud, the ancient city of Kalhu, as the Assyrians knew it when it was their administrative capital in the 9th and 8th centuries BCE. It's a fall season, and we are continuing an excavation here that we did in the spring, and we covered the north portion of a doorway into Ninurta's cella. The cella is where the cult statue would have been, so pretty important area of the temple. Behind me, you can see the south wall of that doorway that goes into the cella. We haven't yet cleared all of the soil from above, but we have cleared the floorway in front of it. Now, this is a really big courtyard. It's about 20 meters across and I think about 30 the other direction. So we can't really clear all of the soil, but we need to find the walls so that we can map them. As we're coming down in this soil, the most common thing that we were finding, because we just finished clearing this off today, and we found a lot of glazed bricks. Well, these are relatively common in these temples, but we don't really know the complete designs that they were trying to make or exactly where these were used, because we find them fallen. So all through here they were jumbled and broken. Now to me that says that they fell from above, and we tend to think that these were used near the tops of the walls. This wall, there aren't any glazed in there. Now there's some dark wash on them, a kind of bitumen black and sometimes a dark green on some of these lower bricks. But they're not all that colorful, whereas these are, and we think that they must have been above. Now, here's the interesting thing. As we dug closer to the wall, we didn't find many of these bricks. We found them away from the wall and in between the two walls. To me, that says that these may have decorated an archway that was over the doorway, and they fell in front of the opening, not in front of the walls. That's pretty exciting, and if we could reconstruct that by putting many of these bricks back together, maybe we can see the overall motif, the designs. So you can see from this example, and we have many of these now, one of the most common motifs are these circles. Are they meant to represent eyes? I don't know, but we do have dark black circle with a black line, and then yellow lines, curvilinear, are very common as well, all on a white ground. But sometimes they have this very bright blue. The problem is the blue, it fades very quickly. It's rather ephemeral, so we can't quite tell the exact designs there. Are they floral? Possibly. It tends to look very blotchy, just as you can see on this example here. We often get diagonal lines, we get straight lines dashed. Occasionally we'll get something that looks like a pomegranate. But another interesting thing that we have been discovering is that on the side that would not have been seen, well, in fact, the upper surface, but other bricks would have been on top, it's not glazed, but there is often a kind of design there. Now this may be more difficult to see, but it has straight lines and it has a drawing that is probably a bull. I'm almost certain that it is. You will be able to see the horns and the face, the ear. So what does that bull mean and why the lines? Well, I think it may be a kind of instruction so that the people who are putting these together would know which ones went on which side of the arch. Maybe they would match up some of these lines. If it has 4 lines, then the next one with 4 lines goes on top of it. If it's a bull, it's on one side. If it's a scorpion, it's on the other. So far, though, I haven't seen the designs repeat. I do have scorpion, I have bull, I have axe head, and I have an eye. So maybe they're just doodles. Maybe the artist was playing around. The interesting thing is, though, that these are often figural, whereas we don't really get figures. We only get maybe floral and curvilinear designs on the front. So we'll have a big project where we will try virtually to reconstruct this opening if we can. Layard had a watercolor done that shows the giant lion Lamassu and I've talked about that before. They flanked this doorway. But he doesn't really say much about these. Either he didn't find them or he didn't care. We do, and we want to know. So that's one of our projects. The other thing that surprised us when we cleared this floor were these kind of bumps. And you can probably just see it, and I'll show some close-ups. They extend 1 to 2 centimeters above the floor, and it's always a circle that's around 12 or 13 centimeters in diameter, cut directly on the center of a floor brick, and then it has that domed part. But it's not just domed clay, it's also glazed on the top of the knob or button or whatever the heck this is. It ends up looking like a Lego brick or something, you know? There are 6 of them right here. Why? It's right at the opening, or just at the end of the southern wall. And we've got an indication that there are some in the north, but they're still covered by our access staircase, so we're going to cut all of that away and see these other ones. I would think that they would just support something. You would put some sort of circular or cylindrical thing there to help it not move. But why then would it be glazed on the top? The glaze indicates that they wanted it to be seen. It's decorated. And how did they make them? They don't seem to be just drilled and then slammed in there. Maybe when they made the brick, they actually put an extra bit on the top, and these were special bricks that had to go in the temple. I don't really know. We also don't really know the technique of this glazing. It's not as solid as I would want a real good glaze to be. When normally you put that on there, you fire it, it kind of vitrifies, and it is pretty solid. This stuff, though, if you brush it too much, you break it away. So it's somewhere between paint and glaze. They are fascinating objects, though, and I'm really looking forward to the attempt, but it's going to be difficult because we have many, many of these now, and there are many more to come. So as we dig the block of soil in front of that door, I can already see there are many of them in the profile. Right near the floor, they fell down from above and they hit the floor first. Well, many more questions here at Nimrud, and we continue to try to solve them. I hope you've enjoyed talking about this glazed brick and these glazed floor knobs with me, and I hope you'll join me again next time on Artifactually Speaking.